I know for myself and a lot of clients that I have that there are these days where you just are like, what in the world is going on? I mean, the world is absolutely going crazy out there. A lot of us just don't even know where to begin to process it.
Well, and that's the thing, and we are required, or I have been required at this time to go within and what's going on for me.
Mhm.
And to really, as you were sharing about you and your husband, taking a look at what really matters in my life at this time, really taking a look at spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, what matters. What is giving us life? And it can be over in an instant. And so what is feeding us? What is giving us life? What is giving us that energy and vitality, and even the some days it's just the willingness and the strength to carry on.
Years ago, I went through a really difficult divorce. And right after I moved out and had my three little ones, and I lost my job
Right.
right after that. And next thing you know, I didn't want anybody to know what I was really struggling with. And I was afraid. And next thing you know, I'm living on credit cards, and then I'm living on food stamps. And
Hmm.
I took a job that paid very little money until I could find something else. And I would just run home and get under the covers and say, oh my God, what have I done? What am I going to do? And then I
Right.
got a call from my best friend who said, I have stage 4 cancer and 6 months to live.
Hmm.
And it put everything into perspective. I realized,
Quickly. Yeah.
yeah, we focus so often on what's wrong with our lives or
Hmm.
what could go bad with our lives rather than what we can control, which is how we think and feel. What can we focus on that's good and about our lives? And really reassessing and saying, wow, I have so much to be grateful for. I have my children, I have my health, I have so many possibilities out there. I need to stop focusing on what's wrong and start focusing on what's right with me. And I think when you do that and you change your mindset, especially today, you realize that you can shift yourself. And when you shift yourself and you start thinking in a more positive way and looking at your life in a more positive way, more positive things come to you. And you begin to become happier and lighter and freer and start making decisions based from on that person. And from there, you can actually influence other people just by leading by example. And that's how we can start to shift our
And
consciousness, our work.
those things that matter to us, how do I want to feel? How do I want to experience my day, my life, my career, my whatever it is? How do I want to feel? And when we anchor that inside of ourselves, nobody can take that from us, whether it's a partner, whether it's a friend, whether it's a boss, whether it's living paycheck to paycheck, whether I have money or I don't have money. But it's those simple things that really, again, fill us up and fill internally our hearts and our cups so that we do have more to give to the world. What does my ideal day look like?
Yeah.
And for me, that's being in nature, taking a walk, that's feeding myself well, that's taking time to listen to what's going on inside of me and not necessarily listening to the news and gossip and all the crazies that are out there that you can
Right.
easily tune into and turn on and get numb your whole self out with and get caught up in everyone else's shit.
Fear, panic, exactly. Everyone else's shit.
I just can't do it.
Go over there.
And it's all energy, and and we
It
get
is.
frantic, and we
Mhm.
get negative, and it starts to weigh on us, and it starts to drag us down. And if we're not, just what you were saying, going for the positive, what is working in my life?
Yeah.
because what we focus on will grow.
Yeah.
Even negative or positive.
Yeah.
If I sit and think to myself, gee, you know what? You're really heavy. You're really fat. And then that's what starts in my mind, in my thinking, in my feeling. And before I know it, it's in my being. It's my physical experience. I'm heavy. I'm weighed down. I'm lethargic. I don't feel like moving. Oh, hell, pull the covers over my head and I'm done.
It's true. It's incredible how many people I work with lose weight when they start to love the body they have today. And that's
Yeah.
what we're talking about really essentially is, what is right about your life? What can you get a gratitude journal and write
Mhm.
down every night before you go to bed what you're grateful for that day. And it's incredible how it will completely shift you. It helps me sleep because then I get all the
Yes.
garbage out of my head.
Taking up a gratitude journal. Write three things that you're grateful for at the end of your day. Only three. And
Yeah.
let that grow. As you start to focus more on being grateful for what you have, the focus on what you don't have starts to gently fall away.
Like, what have you gone through that's been super difficult, that when you were faced with this difficulty, you thought to yourself, oh my God, how am I going to deal with this? I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle it. You think there's just no way, but you do.
Mm-hmm.
And 9 times out of 10, you come out of that and you think, wow, okay, I got through that. And not only did I get through that, you realize that you're stronger than you think. You have more resources to draw from, not only outside of you, but within you to help you move through these things. And you come out even better. At the time that we're faced with these difficulties, we don't realize that there's a huge blessing in it. And there's
Mm-hmm.
a blessing that's going to show you, wow, okay, look what I did. And then look how much better my life is now.
Right.
And if you could think of just one thing and write that down, and then write down everything that you had to do and what it took to get through that, and look at how amazing you are. From there, how can you use those same qualities to get through what you're going through now, or to achieve something different, or move in a new direction, or let go of something that scares the hell out of you?
Usually, if I'm stuck somewhere or stuck in something, usually my own nonsense, I'll ask myself, what is this here to show me? What
Mm,
is this here to teach me? And
mhm.
then when I do get to the other side, so what worked? What didn't work? And
Yeah.
if I had it to do again, what would I do better? And I say that with a little caveat because when I used to do that, how could I do this better? It was through a critical eye. That would just drive me. But now it's more for inspiration. I don't necessarily revisit the same lessons. I mean, some I clearly revisit over and over again, and I wish I could move.
And when I do that, do you find this to be true for you? I didn't do correctly, and that was listen to myself.
Yes. How often do we hear a woman's intuition and we disregard it, betray it, don't trust it, and don't tap into that? But there is an inner knowing. And
Mhm.
and there is an inner knowing in men as well. So I don't
Yeah.
want to leave them out. However, when we disregard that, it is a form of betrayal.
Yeah.
And we have to
Betraying
build
ourselves.
that
Mhm.
trust muscle within our own selves. Can I trust that I'm going to make the best choice for me? Can I
Yes.
trust that I'm going to listen to that small inner voice that is leading me and guiding me to the best choice and decision for me?
I have a quick story about my tennis coach when I was rebuilding my life. And so he's like, why don't you get out in the tennis court with me and let's hit some
Hmm.
balls and just, get you out there, make you feel better. And so I would get out there and he would show me how to hit the ball with the forehand and the backhand. And I used to play when I was younger, but I was really rusty. And so I'd start playing with him and he'd say, you got to trust yourself. You're not following through. And then I'd get like, I'd set it up and I'd get ready to swing and I'd go, oh God, am I going to miss it? And he'd say, you have to trust yourself, Michelle. I walked away from that tennis lesson and said, this is my new mantra.
Yeah.
I'm going to learn to trust myself, because not only am I not trusting myself in playing tennis, how many other ways am I not trusting myself in my life? And as I started to become aware of where I was holding back and not trusting myself, it was a lot, because we've been trained as women to be the nice girl, don't make waves, take care of everybody else but yourself. And so when you're exercising trusting yourself and listening to what's right for you, sometimes that means showing up and saying to others, no, this doesn't feel right. I've decided not to do this. Or thank you so much for your opinions and your advice, but I've decided, this is how I'm going to do stuff, whether that be your family members, your friends, your spouse, whomever. And so it's really practicing and exercising that muscle of getting that courage to say, okay, this is how I really want to do things. The old Michelle would go along with whatever I needed to do to make everybody happy first and not have confrontation. The new Michelle says, okay, check in. Something
Mhm.
doesn't feel right. You betray yourself if you don't. So then you end up pissed
Well,
off.
and that's the interesting thing. We're so afraid of pissing other people off, yet we can walk around with that internal conflict and that internal war raging inside of us that we didn't honor and we didn't stay true to our own selves. What is that about? Upsetting our own selves. It would, it's okay for us to stay upset, but we're afraid to upset others in making choices that actually honor what we desire in our lives.
Right. What do you want in your heart and soul? That's
Right.
the question I don't know if a lot of people ask of themselves. If you're
And
not doing that, then you're just going through the motions of maybe doing something thinking it's going to bring you some kind of fulfillment.
and then once you get it, it's
Not.
empty. Because again, you become a vibrational match for the very thing you desire and you draw it to you as opposed to working for it. And then we put these things, these people on pedestals. And then once we get it and achieve it, ah,
Yeah.